karma starts coming. Because you all know that has a tendency to happen, especially on Sundays with like the Wesleyan hour, if you're familiar with that term, and you know, your afternoon nap. So we don't want to keep you here all day. After all, we explained that this is going to be easy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a program that fully equips you to be able to love on our kids more. And so, without further ado, I'm going to pass out one sheet of paper first. We have some pens up front here. If you want a pen, what I would encourage you to do is, if you have any questions throughout the time that we kind of go through things together, I want to be able to have you write those down, just to kind of keep the time going and then save them for the end, so that if people kind of feel good, then we can conclude and they can leave where they want to hear the questions. That would be good. I think that would be ideal. Does that sound okay? Or yeah? Okay. Yeah, instead of stopping and going all the time, I felt like maybe we could save them to the end. So if you need a pen, you have a couple of pens you can pass around, feel free to write questions down. You can put them on your smartphone, that kind of thing too. The first thing that I want to pass out is something that's really, really cool, that's accessible to everyone here, as long as you have the internet, some form of fashion on your phone or a computer at home or whatever. All of the resources that you guys will ever need will be on Konnect.wesleyanchurch.com. Type in that. You go to it, you'll see all the current series for the kids on there, all the small group discussion guides, the challenge cards, and all of the schedules. So you'll have your schedule on there, know when you're scheduled for that month, for that quarter. So this is an important sheet. You can get to it off of the main website when you click on Ministries and Children, and you'll see Leader Resources tab. This is just a shortcut for you as a leader to get straight to the page, so you don't have to click and go here and go there. We've tried to make it really simple, and it has links to download all the information. So at any time, day or night, you can go there and get all of the information, including the video of teaching for that week that will be shown. You can watch them all ahead of time if you want to. If you binge watch Netflix, you can binge watch Konnect Kids videos. And they're all on YouTube, and the YouTube links are already up there. They're already active. So like today, you should be able to go to Konnect.wesleyanchurch.com and see all this information on there for the first series that we're going to be doing. It's called Grow Your Spirit. So I'm going to split this stack in half. If you want to take one and pass it down. It's a screenshot. It's a screenshot of the page, so you kind of have an idea of what it looks like when you've arrived and what it should look like. If there's ever any issues and you go there, let us know, because we'll need to know that.
Question, does Wolverine Bank know there's still 50
Hey, we stole more than 50.
So this is very key to have for you, especially if you are curious and you want to see what the whole series picture is like and what we're going to be studying and what you want to look weeks ahead of, in advance and look at your schedule. Like I said, the schedule links are at the very bottom of that page. You can see when you're scheduled and link that up with the week that you'll be in with the series. Oh, it's just a screenshot. It's not. You're not supposed to be able to have to read it. It's just a screenshot. Sorry, it's small, difficult to read, but it's just more or less a reference for you to be able to go there and go, aha, this looks like the piece of paper I have, and be able to read it better. So sorry, it's difficult to read in the screenshot there in the image, but that's a resource that will help equip everyone so you have the resources that you need for the Sunday that you're scheduled. You can see ahead of time as well what you'll be doing. You'll have to excuse my voice a little bit because I've been using it a lot today. All right, so I'm going to pass out next these. It's basically what we're going to be working through today. Now, don't get too intimidated because it's a packet with multiple pages, but the meat of the material really is this first page, and the rest is more like just we'll go through briefly and more for your information and more for your information. One of the things, too, I want to let you know, what you're about to receive, in case you ever lose it, is going to be in this Konnect binder that will always be down here. So you'll have all of this information in here, so you can always make a copy in case you lose yours. Or if you get here on a Sunday morning and you go, okay, what was I supposed to do again? The checklist for when you arrive is in here. All of the information that is here is in here and will be downstairs for you every single week so that you know everything that you need to know. Okay? So there you go. So don't feel bad if you lose it. It's okay. We have it. So again, take one, pass it down. And then we're going to go ahead and we already kind of went through the whole process of where we've arrived by doing it Konnect Kids. So I'm not going to repeat that. If you want to find out kind of the journey to this direction that God's led us in with the children's ministry, you can check out the sermon video from a couple weeks back, which is available to you. You can find out like where we kind of came to these thoughts and where God's kind of directed us. And so this is the fleshing out of it in more detail for those of you that would like a little bit more detail. And we're going to kind of work through this it's kind of fun. We kind of moved our chairs. We're going to have to be moving our chairs in a moment because we're going to experience this together. Yeah, I know. But we're going to do what the kids do with part of our training so that you can hands-on. I'm a very hands-on learner. I learn best that way. So minus a couple days, we're going to kind of go through this as a hands-on training kind of thing because I don't think I'm the only one that learns best hands-on. And plus, our attention spans, Sunday afternoons, just like kids, sometimes our attention spans, we need to move around and kind of do something different, right? So first things first, we're going to start this in 2 weeks, February 3rd, okay? When you're scheduled, we're asking that you would arrive, everyone in the team arrive at 9:30. When you arrive, you will meet all the team leaders that are scheduled for that Sunday and come downstairs. When you come downstairs, you're going to make sure that this TV is on with the video that's ready to play. The second sheet that you'll see in there is a how-to guide for this remote control and how to get it on step by step. Pictures of the buttons, descriptions of the buttons, a picture of the remote, everything there. So every single step to get this video to play is in your hands in the binder. Super duper easy, I promise you. So step one, the red power button. On. It turns on. Okay? So your team's down here, you arrive at 9:30, you say, hey guys, what's up? You come down here, you're like, oh, let's make sure the TV's on. We turn it on, and there's these buttons here. There's a house button. You hit house.
Back to the point. We're talking about the business.
And then you arrow. There's directional arrow keys here. You arrow left 3 times.
And it's 99%
And then you arrow up. And you arrow over to where it says flash disc. Right here. We'll have it put in here and the video already uploaded or downloaded, whatever the official term is, to the flash disk every week. So it'll already be in there and ready to go. So you'll get to these, what looks like file folders or files, and you'll see a con file. And this is the first video here. Con Burger Story. So you arrow over, and then you hit the center button in the directional arrows. So you would hit that button there, and it automatically starts to play. So what you want to do is you want to pause, and you'll want to arrow and do a rewind all the way back to the beginning, and then pause again. So just like you would like your VCR, which you made videos, but your VCR, your DVD, your Blu-ray, you rewind, you hit pause, and then you leave it alone until the kids come downstairs. It's that easy. And then whoever is starting the video, who is the defined MC, I'll explain that later, the defined MC will just hit play, and it should be ready to go. If you want to check the volume levels, you can go ahead and play and check the volume levels.
So,
And then
yes.
go back and rewind again and pause. Okay? So that's that. We also have these nifty lights here that are a little color on the wall. And they can change colors too. It's fun. So you can change different colors and stuff. So anyway, you can make sure the light's on. It adds a little bit extra ambiance, right? So So when you arrive with your team, you come on, someone turns on the TV and does that. You turn on the lights in here, and then you make sure that there's, like it has been, the chairs have been kind of in a, like a, thank you, semi-circle around the TV. So make a semi-circle, make sure that it should be set up, and in case it isn't, put some chairs around the TV so we can watch the video. And then we're going to have ideally 3 breakout groups for the small groups. And so what those, we've had 3 tables set up right next to each other, like in a row here. We're just going to take one table and have a table there, have a table more in the middle, and like make some more space to break up the age groups a little bit more. So make sure that 3 tables are set up, that there's chairs around those tables so that when they physically move from watching the video, they can move to those tables. So make sure lights are on, chairs are set up, and the small group tables are in place. There will be snacks every week, so check, make sure that the snacks are set up in the kitchen for the person to dish out basically when it's snack time. There's going to be offering taken up every week, and it says basically we're going to be up here, so make sure a basket is available up by the TV. And so that's what you do when you check in. So we got TV on, lights on, chairs out, snacks, offering basket. And then you want to make sure that you have the leader guides and challenge cards. You've seen them, you've located them, you know where they are, or you personally already have your small group discussion guide because you were so excited you printed it off at home and you have it with you. Whatever it is, they'll be here. So make sure they're located and you know where they're at. As we've had the sign out system outside of the doors there with the table set up for the sign out process. We're going to keep that. And then together as a team, you'll go upstairs. Now, I could really make this an immersive meeting and make all of us right now get up and go upstairs and go through the sign-in process at the information desk. But we're going to hang out here. I'll explain it. So imagine me, if you will. You've done all of these things. And now we're going upstairs, and we get to the information desk. We're all standing there, whoever the 4 of you as a team are standing there. And at this time, you need to determine a few things. And these are important things to be able to carry out the morning. Probably the most important thing other than loving Jesus and loving the kids and looking at this stuff. So first thing is determine which one of you will sign in the children for that morning. Sign-in process is just what we had down here, the piece of paper, and somebody comes up and they sign in their child, note any allergies or any important information, and they're signed in, okay? So somebody stays in that position. Oh, sorry, I thought the video was playing. So you'll want to make sure you sign in the child, and then the same person will collect the challenge cards from the week before. So you're signing in, collecting cards. And that person will basically hang out there until the handicap lot doors are locked, and that's approximately 10:10. So someone needs to do that. And then in the same group, yes?
What are those doors?
The handicap lot doors, the one by the
On
sign.
the side, where the ambulance.
Yeah, on the other, not the
Oh,
steps,
the
but
upstairs.
upstairs.
Oh.
Yeah, we're upstairs.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're upstairs finding out the sign-in person, and then you need to determine out of the 4 of you who is going to be the MC. The MC is basically, and for the first month, John and I are going to be taking turns coming down and kind of showing you what this role is. It really is easy. Anyone can do it. But just to briefly describe the role, it's coming down and just saying, when the kids come downstairs saying, hey guys, welcome, have a seat, we're going to play the video. If you have offering, put it in the basket. If you have any extra challenge cards, I'll take them. And that's it. You say, all right, we're so good to have you. And you get the sign-in sheet. Goes, Billy, Bobby, Susie, Jenny, you all here? Wonderful, let's play the video. Play the video. And after that, you say, okay, let's go to the small groups, and then you bring out the snack. And then you wait for the sign out. So that's kind of the MC. Those are the main functions of the MC. There's no speaking roles, there's no lesson. It's basically directional points that are down here that you kind of give instruction to. So you need to determine who's the MC, and then the 3 others or more, if there's more of you scheduled for that Sunday, you can team up and do small group leader breakout. And basically, you come down and you listen to the video with the kids, and then when the MC instructs you to break out into the groups, you go and you sit with your group and you do a small group discussion. We're going to talk about that in a little moment, so I'm not going to park there too long. So you determine those 4 roles, basically. 3 roles. I don't know how you ever want to look at it. So sign-in person, MC, small group leaders. And the small group leaders, basically, you need to figure out who's doing the 4 to 6, 8-year-old, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, like however it's going to be broken up. That's what you determine in that time frame. So there's no confusion when you break out. So that's when you arrive. The whole process, it sounds like a lot, but when you're, well, lights are on, both tables, you know, it moves fast. We don't foresee it going on any more than 15 minutes if the whole team's there and doing different things. And if you determine who is doing what, it will go pretty fast. So by 9:45, the team leader that is doing the sign-in process for families coming in for service will be in place. So we're still upstairs. You'll be collecting this challenge cards, and then you'll be staying in that place until the handicap lot doors are locked. Because we have families, I mean, I know too, you get caught up with your kids, they don't want to change their outfit from something that they wore to something that might match a little better or whatever, and then you're late, and then you get in through the doors and you're like, oh, you know, so we want to make sure we catch families that might be arriving a little bit late. 10, our service will begin. Everyone will be upstairs. Okay, so leaders, everyone upstairs for worship. At approximately 10:30, we will, as we announce the time of offering, we'll basically incorporate a line similar to this into that time where we're going to say, you know, hey, if you're a kid, it's time for Konnect Kids and leaders, head downstairs. We're going to continue in our time of worship up here with our offering time. Kids, when you go downstairs, you're going to have a chance to give too. And, you know, basically at that time, they can get up, move, and come down. You as leaders can get up and come down. There's going to be lots of movement in the sanctuary. That's totally fine. So that's approximately 10:30. All right, so we're all kids now, okay? But still be thinking leaders. So I want everyone, we're going to actually do this together. You've all been dismissed to come downstairs as a leader or a child. And we're going to, I don't know, do we want to move chairs? Sure. Everyone's looking like, yeah, let's move chairs. I think moving, getting up. So let's form like a little semicircle around here. I'll play the role of the MC.
There you
All right, come on, kids. Come have a seat. Leaders too. All right, have you guys had laundry? That is how you change the color on the remote. I can't remember.
We won't worry about that right now. They'll probably be set. We want things to be easy, and lights aren't easy.
This is curious too. I forgot, but okay. So anyway, okay, kids. If you have offering, I don't have a basket right here, so imagine. Pretty basket. Bring up offering. Oh, so glad that you're here. Hey, Jackie, you're here. Good. Debbie, da da da. I'll have the sign-in sheet. So names. Oh, wonderful. All right, we're all here. So glad to have you. We're gonna play our lesson, and then we go here. And this is actually the first lesson of the. All right. So that was the first video. There's lots of different characters throughout. That was just they have this really crazy comedic kind of guy that's goofy. You can tell there's some kid cheese in there. There's a good amount of truth. There's the Bible verse, the points, and the Bible reference and story in there. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of a taste. You can look ahead and check out the different flavors. Each video has a little bit of a different flavor to it depending on what person they have in place. So anyway, we were like, all right, kids, now it's time to get into your small group. And so I would say, let's say Sunny, if you're age 4 to 6, go with Sunny. If you're 7 to 9, go with and basically then you would kind of raise your hand and say, okay, come with me, and go to the table. Now, if somebody happens to come and crosses over, like they have an older brother or sister or something like that, and they want to be next to them, don't be like, oh, you have to be over here, you know. Obviously, if they're more comfortable, there's some flexibility in there. You don't want to, like, you know, come down on a kid because they feel insecure in this particular group. So let's go ahead and go back to the tables, and we're going to kind of go over the small group time and kind of show you a little bit of the additional things that we have in here, and that should be make sure that things are set up. So, you know, our intention is to already have the TV on and ready with the video when you come down on the week that you're scheduled, but in case it's not, you have the steps to do it. You know, so just kind of keep that in mind. If the lights are not on, it's not the end of the world. It's just a cool thing. If they're on already, great, you know. So that's a little bit more of an involved training, I guess, with the lights. So if they're on, great. If they don't make it on, it's okay. You know, don't stress about it. Everything should be down here, the stuff printed for the week, everything that you need should be, but it's a checklist to come down and just make sure, okay, everything's ready to go. And for peace of mind for you too, to know that when you come down here, everything is ready just to play. So just so you know, don't get bogged down or stressed about having to get all those things. There might be 1 or 2 things that might be overlooked or you might need to do, and everything's in here that hopefully is a help to you. So basically our hope is on any given week, our goal is to have 4 of you down here to help out. One person that kind of helps direct and move things along, the MC, and the other 3 to be the small group leaders. The ideal breakout would be a group of kids ages 4 to 6, a group for ages 7 to 9, and the final group ages 10 to 12. So like I said, some kids might have a sibling or something and they don't want to be broken apart. There might be something. It's not worth the battle or whatever. But for the simple fact that 4 to 6-year-olds are going through way different things than 10 to 12-year-olds, in the conversations you may have with them, you want to have that distinguished breakout as much as you can. So when you get into your small group, here's a couple logistics. So what if you're down here and there's one person in age group 4 to 6, because our attendance down here does tend to fluctuate, right? If you've served down here, you know, 1 week you could have 20 and the next week you could have 4. So it has some varying levels. Just so you know, you are just as valued as a team leader down here on the week when there's 4, maybe even more so than a week when there's 20. And here's why. Say you're a small group leader and there's a group of kids, age 4 to 6, then 7 to 9, 10 to 12. 4 to 6 has 1 kid. Maybe 7 to 9 has 0 kids, and 10 to 12 has 3. What do you do on a week that's like that and you're assigned for the 7 to 9, there's nobody there, and there's 1 over in 4 to 6? Do you combine the groups? Do you go, okay, let's take the 4 to 6-year-old and let's all join the 10 to 12-year-olds? No. What that is an awesome opportunity for you, and if you're the leader of the 7 to 9-year-olds where there's no people, to go, you know what, there's 3 over here, I'm going to go over and join as an extra adult in that group and have another voice of a spiritual mentor in those kids' lives to kind of bounce off of. And the one person over that's in the 4 to 6-year-olds that if you're leading in that group, that's quality one-on-one time. That can't, just think about it. Our lives are so crazy, so hectic. You don't know where the child's been throughout the week. Maybe they haven't even had like 5 minutes just to sit down with their mom or dad that we can just discuss what's going on. But you have one-on-one time for like 10, 15 minutes where you can just pour into and pray for that child. So please, please don't think that just because you have one, don't get discouraged, get excited. Get super excited, because that means that your impact has just multiplied in that child's life. And that you might be the only voice that they hear that week that encourages, that pours into them. So don't look at that and go, oh, well, I can go upstairs. Look at that as an opportunity and spend that one-on-one time with that person. And the person that may not have one in the group, go to the group with the multiples that have more in it and say, you know what, I have more impact because there's 2 of us here, and we can help have this conversation, have more one-on-one and face-to-face interaction with someone. So when you're down here, you are valued as a team leader, and you're valued by the children, and they enjoy that one-on-one time with you. And if you're like, well, Kristia, what do I talk about? What is there to say? Well, they give you a small group guide, and I want to draw your attention to that. It's after the remote control guide. And this is a guide. That's what it is. It isn't you must get through every single item on this. You must ask every single question, get answers from every single kid on every single item that's on here. It's not that. We want to focus on prayer and hearing from the kids what's going on in their lives and be able to build that relationship and be able to pray with them. So what we want to do is kind of summarize the video quickly with the children. Kind of go over the points. That's what's there. They get close to God. Go over the memory verse with them one more time and say, hey, this is your memory verse for this week. If you memorize it, you get points next week and you bring back your cards. And then the third thing is the question of what happens in this case. What happens when we make choices to get close to God? And in this case, God gets closer to us, which was the point of the video. So kind of briefly go over that. You don't need to spend too much time because you just had a 15-minute video that explained those 3 things. It's just kind of bringing it together as a leader. And then you pray together. It gives you the steps. Ask them to share, write down what they share, and pray together. And then if you don't know exactly what to pray, it even gives you a sample prayer based off of the theme that you can pray with the kids. Some weeks, that may be all you get to. And you know what? That's great. That's perfect. That's fine, because they know that you asked about them, you loved on them, and you prayed with them. But if we get past that point, and we get to our snack time and the MC is bringing around snack, we have some discussion questions that you can choose. You can look ahead of time and choose questions. If you don't have a chance to look ahead of time and choose the questions, you can go, hey, that sounds good, I'm going to ask that. And it gives you sample answers. So if you kind of read it and you go, I don't know what the answer is, it has a sample answer in there for you. You don't have to choose all of them. You can choose one. If you really like one, you can choose that and talk about it the rest of the time. Whatever you want to do there. And there's also an action step question. Information and then action. So those are things, if you don't get through all the questions, it's not meant for you to get through all the questions. There's no pressure on you to get through all of that. It's just to provide that discussion that feeds around the lesson, the main points of the morning. So really super easy. And you just stay in your group until the parents start coming down. And the MC basically signs them out. When the child sees their parent, then they'll go with them with the challenge card in hand. I feel like I should.
Where's the challenge?
Yeah, where's the challenge card? Is the next sheet. So when you're in your group and you pray together, maybe you've had a chance to discuss some of the questions, and you see their parent come down. Now, this is something we need to crack down on, so to speak, is make sure that whoever signs the child out needs to, or signs the child in, needs to sign them out. Even the pastor's kid, Jillian finds her way upstairs every week, and a lot of times we don't sign her out, but we need to sign her out. And it is a matter of protection for them, of security for them. And if somebody's still hanging out and you're the last adult and you're hanging out waiting and waiting and waiting, if all the other kids have been picked up or there's a couple you can take with you, take them upstairs, keep them with you, and hand deliver them to the parent. Say, here, we're signing them, physically signing them out by delivering them to the parent, just so you can see that they have been delivered to whoever brought them. So we need to do that as a security and protection thing for our families to feel comfortable leaving their kids in our care, okay? And while I'm on that, if you have not been background checked in the past for VBS or Discovery Land or whatever, or for nursery, we have that. That's the last page in your packet. You can fill that out before you leave today. But back to challenge cards. So the parent comes and signs their child out, or you bring a child up to their parent and sign them out. You hand them this. This is a challenge card, and basically it offers an opportunity for them to continue the lesson with their family. There's an activity there. There's where they can say the point from memory, and then where they can memorize the verse. Now this, we're not going to, when they come in on a Sunday morning, you're the sign-in person, be like, all right, recite James 1:4 to me, you know, and what was last week's point? Like, that's not your job. It has a place here for the parents to sign off on it. Basically, it's an honor system. If the parent has worked on the memory verse with their child, if they've worked on the Bible point and they've done this activity together and they sign off on it, it's us saying, you know what, we choose to believe you as a parent, as a spiritual guide in their life, that you've taken the time to sign off on this and work on this with your child, and we'll give them the points. Okay, we're not going to crack a whip or, you know, whatever. We're going to choose to believe that the family's looked at this and done this. And so when we collect these cards, we'll hand them out for that week, and then they return them back. If it's signed, then they get the points. It's 25,000 points each week. Now, we're going to take care of the administration of the points and all that in the church office, so don't worry about that. So when you collect these, just give them to us. We'll keep track of the points. There's not going to be a cap on the amount of points an individual can have for now. There's probably going to have to adjust this and just tweak things as we move along, as we see how long it takes kids to get points and all that kind of thing. But the initial goal, so everyone knows, is 1 million points. When they reach 1 million points, they'll get to choose a party off of a list of like some predetermined options. We may have them kind of give some of the ideas to make them feel involved with those options, but they'll get to pick a party. Our goal is kind of like for your ears only. Our goal is to have one party a quarter. So give them 4 parties where they get to choose what they get to do per year if they reach the goal. Now, like I said, tweaking of the points and tweaking of different things might have to happen as we go along, as we kind of learn the point system and learn how they bring stuff in. So that's what this is. Also along with it, that doesn't have a point value. It's really cool. Along with their app, they have a devotional that goes along with the lessons, along with the series that Konnect Kids does, that they can do with their families too. There's like 4 different devotionals they can do with their family throughout the 4-week series. So it's basically one night a week they can do that thing together. So,
What's the key tag number?
what's that?
What's the key tag number?
Key tag number? Oh, we're ignoring that. That's. I think that's with their system. It's something
Okay.
like they might have like a
sign
online
the number.
check-in, and they might get like a tag or something. A lot more kids, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So we'll ignore the key tag thing. So ignore that. Thanks. Good question. I meant to mention that. Okay. So that's the process. All the resources again are available on that website. Some important reminders. Going to bring you back to the first page on the back side of the first page. I already mentioned you must be background checked if you're 18 or over. So if you've never been background checked, we provided the form for you. I've got any questions. I serve on the worship team. I'm, on, or I play the piano, or I do this or that. Can I still serve at Konnect? Well, as a reminder, as we walk through, we're doing a halftime service. A lot of the areas in which you can serve are in the beginning part of the service. So I provided here a list because it's a big change, and so it's going to be for some people of, oh, well, I've scheduled for this. Can I really do this? Well, this will give you that list of if you're serving in this area, you can still serve in Konnect Kids the same day if you happen to be double scheduled or double booked. You can be a leader if you're a greeter that day, if you're reading the call to worship that day. If you are on the worship team that day, you will be able to come down still. If you're an instrumentalist that day, you can still come down. If you're an usher or leading an offertory prayer, you can come down. For ushers, it doesn't apply to Communion Sunday because just depending on the placement of communion within the service, we would still need ushers upstairs to be able to distribute the elements. But if you're an usher or doing offertory prayer, here's the kind of I don't know, a side note to that. If you are scheduled as an usher or leading in the prayer, you can head downstairs after serving in those areas, but just make sure that there's 2 other adults that are scheduled that are not serving as an usher. Obviously, they wouldn't be serving and doing the offering prayer. So just make sure there's 2 other adults that are going down with the kids, and that's something that can be discussed when you first come together in the morning, and you can kind of say, or even before that, say, hey, I'm scheduled as an usher. You guys are good to go down, and just make sure they're going to be there. So does that make sense? If you're scheduled as an usher or leading in prayer, make sure that you have 2 adults going down with the kids, and then you can join after. Because really, at the most, they might be just starting the video, but you'll still be able to lead a small group discussion. I've already gone over the challenge card and group reward, so it's there for you for your information. And then finally, if there's a conflict with your schedule, if you can, as a lot of the volunteers with Dorothy have already done, if you have a conflict or something comes up, try and switch within the group and then contact the church office with Susan and let us know so we can keep the schedule up to date for everyone so everyone knows where everyone's planning on being here. And then if you become ill or there's crazy weather or whatever, kind of the last minute stuff, Susan is more than happy to take the calls and relay the information and help get some things figured out administratively for that morning for us down here. So that's kind of that protocol. So let me see here if I've missed anything. So like I said, all the stuff should be all set up. It's available online to you at the website. It's available here physically in the binder. You have it in your hands. Now, you have some schedules here in your packet as well. This is basically, ignore the second quarter schedule for now and get up the first page should be the schedule for February or in March. This is what I currently have where some of you who came and spoke to me directly and took a Sunday and said, hey, I'm willing to check this out and or be a part of the regular schedule. So this is what it looks like right now. Now I have it numbered off that there's 4 spots each week. That's the ideal. If you haven't signed up for a spot but you want to check it out, and you can't do one of the open, like on March 3rd, there's an open spot, on February 24th and March 24th, there's open spots, but you can't make it on those, we still want you to check it out. So let me know what Sunday you can come and check it out and be down here and just experience the whole thing with the kids, and we'll get you on the schedule there. If you can fill in an open spot, even better, that'd be cool. And then basically, after February and March, if you go, you know what, hey, that was awesome, I can do this once every 4 to 6 weeks, I can come and serve for 45 minutes with our kids. Let me know, we'll get you on the regular schedule. If those who have signed up so far for February and March were to keep the same Sunday in the second quarter, that's what this is. So we kind of thought ahead and put people on Sundays for the second quarter and also put in the empty spots there. So if you kind of go, oh, February, March, I'm not sure, but I could help fill in this quarter, this gives you an idea of where there's empty spots. And if you kind of look ahead and go, you know what, if I'm in this spot for next time, that doesn't work for me this time, but I can switch. It's kind of look ahead and figure it out. Because we're having to kind of figure things out administratively and figuring out the schedules, and it'll take some work trying to figure out and spread it out. If you want to serve more than 4 to 6 weeks and you absolutely love it, totally cool. Like you can, not stopping you, but if we all work together, it ends up being like once every 4 to 6 weeks or once every 6 weeks if you have a good solid team like we have here this morning. So with that, I'm going to stop talking. I'd love to get your contact information if you're going to be on the schedule. I have the existing members' contact information, but it'd be great to get the additional so everyone can have access to phone numbers. And with that, I would love to take questions. If you have to go, I understand you can contact me and ask any questions if you have them at a later time. But if you want, I'd love to entertain questions and try and help. Yes, wow, okay. Yours stayed up the longest and Tony's was up first, so. Tori, we'll go.
I just have, the check-in program, if one parent checks them in, does that parent know that they're gonna have to check them out? Or like if you check Jillian in, are we allowed to let John check them out?
Yeah, it's the parents. Like if you know who the parents are, and I can maybe check them in, check her in, and John, and you know who that is. Yeah, it's who they come with.
Okay.
Yeah, that we're not gonna be like, oh, it must be, you know, but it should be an adult from the
Does that
family.
apply to grandparents?
Sure, I would think so.
This is gonna be a problem. And I think this is what my question's about too. There's gonna have to be a check-in. We know those people go with that kid. I would suggest Chuck E. Cheese, the invisible, that shows up with the black light.
How do we know? We don't know.
Because if we give somebody a ticket that goes with that kid, they're gonna lose it. Or it's gonna be like, it's here somewhere, and then they're gonna get a line back up. Now, most of us know the kids that go with what parents, but there's gonna be a time where we don't.
Right.
And I think security is super important to newcomers, especially
Right.
young people with young kids.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Security may be the thing that comes back the next week.
Yeah,
If the security is
Yeah.
not good,
that's true.
they won't come back.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
So you would advocate.
I wouldn't say a
whoever
stamp
signed them
because
in,
people don't
sign
want a
them
stamp on their hand, but the invisible stamp that shows up with the black light, that the kid has the matching one, I think it's quick. And I think it's important to make people feel good about the process.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think we're looking into a couple different options, and that's one good idea. But just to kind of tag on security, I think we're trying to minimize the change anxiety for our leaders as well as our church. And so right now, trying to keep sign-in, at least maybe for this quarter, similar to what we have, but knowing that there are some things probably coming down. We've already thought of some other options. That's a great option, that we want to kind of increase that and look to incrementally increase that. We decided kind of intentionally with the big program change to keep our sign-in as close to what it's been as possible, just to kind of minimize the change anxiety right there, knowing that we do want to increase that. So that's why part of it right now, we're looking at trying to keep it, the sign-in sheet, the sign-out sheet, trying to make sure that we know the kids who are dropped off, the people who they're going with, and make sure that they're secure, at least in that basic way. Up that at least to making sure we're doing what we're saying we're doing there, as we kind of already alluded to, making sure that those kids are going home. But yeah, there are some options that we want to look at in the future for maybe taking that even another level.
Can we even have maybe, in the time being, a family word? Like if a child says, okay, pineapple is our family word, and that's our checkout word kind of thing. Because I don't know necessarily everybody's grandparents if they come down, or
and I think the easiest is to say, if I don't know them, we need to see the parent who dropped you off. And 99 times out of 100, it's very obvious in the kid. I know this person. I know I'm supposed to go with them. And we're sticking kind of with what we've done there. Again, if you have more things with security, I kind of want to get us off security and just say, please talk to us individually. It is something we're looking forward to increasing in the future. Different things for the security. The main way that the security will work for now is sign in on there and make sure that somebody signs them out and we know who has them. So that if Kristia signs Jillian out and I come down and you're working kids and I say, where's Jillian? You say, Kristia signed her out. Or if my parents are visiting and my parents took her, and I go, where is Jillian? You say, your mom signed her out. And you can just say, this is the person that I know took your kid, they signed them out. Go look for that person, and at least kind of excuses you. You know what to tell the parent. And in almost every case, that's going to keep our kids where they need to be.
Yeah, we do know it's a serious thing and what families look for, and they want their kids to be safe, and new families coming in will want that. And so we just know that in what we've witnessed is that we want that, but we haven't been maybe excellent at executing that up to this point. So we want to start with at least that, and then continue to grow and get ideas like the black light and the security word, and explore what direction we want to go as we continue tightening it up and making sure that it's a secure thing. But at least for sure, making sure if it's not the person signing or signing the child out, you know who that person is and have a record of who checked them out, at least to begin with, for now.
Do you come on to those
Or they might, I don't see them personally, they don't come.
I mean, is that a plan to hang on to those sheets?
We can.
We can.
Because if you are, then if you deliver a child, you should record delivered to parent on there.
Okay.
Because I won't remember the next week what I did with that kid, but that day I will remember to put that down.
Well,
Like if you physically deliver it
Yes.
to
Keep it in
parents.
sheets.
So
So
what she's saying is, what Debbie's saying is that if the parent does not come down and you're a leader that physically delivers the child to a parent, that you write in the space where the child is supposed to be signed up by the parent, you can put delivered to parent with your name next to it, so you remember, and it's just recorded that they were delivered to the parent. That's a good
Or
idea
if you
too.
hand pen, it's like your assignment.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Or that too. Yeah, or have a parent sign. Yes.
Is our job, whoever is up there signing the kids in, any kid you see walking in, you grab them? I mean, not grab them, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, is that,
It would be ideal in a welcoming way if you see families. You say, hey, we would love to explain Konnect Kids. Can I explain how our kids sign in works? We're going to sign you in here. And hopefully our ushers can kind of grab that. It's kind of the family feel. We're going to have a little bit of a learning process for the first little bit. But yes, ideally, the person who's working up at the booth, anybody in the church who has a sensitivity to kids, as you see families come in and as they maybe look a little lost or confused or coming in, make sure that they understand what the process is, how we do things at Wesleyan Community, that their kids are welcome to join upstairs for the first half, and then if they sign in, come on downstairs for Konnect. All of us can kind of help in that, but if you're working the desk especially, yes.
I'm still confused with logistics. Are they signing in down here?
No.
Okay, so the sign in is upstairs.
Yes, sign out is down.
And sign out is down.
Yes.
That makes perfect
So
sense.
when the family signs in their child, whoever's, especially, well, probably every week, because we'll have guests. So whoever signs in, you'll need to let them know, you'll need to sign your child downstairs after service.
Will you have a sign up there that says Konnect Kids?
Planning on trying to have some kind of sign, I don't know how fancy it'll be, but there'll be some indication. Yeah, we might, for the first couple of weeks, I had the thought of like maybe doing blue and green balloons or something and having them there with like some kind of sign so that people's eyes are kind of whoop, drawn that way so that they see it. Yes.
So they sign upstairs, they stay with their parents
Yes.
until worship begins. Are you gonna make an announcement that children?
At offering, yes.
At
Yeah.
offering, the children can go
And
downstairs?
the leaders. Yep.
and those that sign up may not want to go down, and that's fine too, right?
Yeah,
That's partly
fine.
why the MC has that kind of upfront time, making sure who signed in, is there any extras that are here that didn't sign in, and at least kind of making sure we have it.
Yeah, if they end up not coming downstairs, but they signed in, that would just be we need to make sure that one of the 4 adults or more adults goes upstairs and kind of locates who that might be and says, you know, are you staying with your parents or are you coming downstairs? And it's fine, they don't have to feel forced, because if they want to worship with their family, that's fine. You know, we're not going to force them to come down, but if they want to come down, then we need to make sure that they didn't miss that announcement somehow.
And if you get one that wasn't signed in?
Right.
And if you get one that wasn't signed in, then
I think probably the same thing.
we're working through
Bring
this,
them up to
yeah.
Yeah, they're great questions, but probably the same kind of thing. Hopefully there's 4 adults down, there's a video for 15 minutes. It should take, you know, in a church our size, a building our size, it should take 2 minutes to walk upstairs, say, where's your parents? Making sure you know that your kid's down here with Konnect Kids. Is that good? What's your name? I'm gonna go put that on the sign-in sheet. We're good to go.
So go upstairs with the kid.
I would think that would be the appropriate. Go upstairs with the kid, just make sure a parent knows, hey, we've got your kid. That's cool, right?
Yeah. Some of the things we're gonna have to kind of learn, and we appreciate the questions, because it helps us, because we've tried to think about all sorts of different angles, but we're limited between 2 brains sometimes, so, and to have more brains, that's really good to help solidify things. I'm gonna go back to something, because she just asked a question, so it might be a follow-up.
Really quick question, okay. If they do decide to stay up with their parents,
Yes.
shouldn't that be noted on the sheet? Because if you have 4 teenagers, you may not know all the children.
Right.
And I don't want to be running around the church or calling, you know,
Right.
John and saying, I don't know where this child is.
Right. So if somebody's not down here, then somebody would go up and locate the child and either
And make
bring
sure-
them
and
down, and then you
note
would
it
know
on
that
the-
they
all right.
decided to stay with the parents.
Okay.
Yes.
Or if we have absolutely no idea who signed in, we'll just note that on the sign-in. Johnny never showed up, never came down, and we can go and look, but we don't know who this person is. To even begin to look, we can talk to ushers and kind of try to identify, do our best with, again, working together as a team with everybody in the church who's here that day to kind of say if there's a problem of that nature. But in general, we'll probably know that 9 times out of 10 who they are rather quickly.
So we really should do attendance down here as well to make sure that it
Yeah,
matches
that's,
the list.
yeah,
Just
that's
MC, real quick
MC.
run through.
Yeah, just basically whoever does the sign in, make sure that they give the sign-in sheet to the MC and they go, okay, everyone come down, sit down, drop off your offering, and Billy, Bobby, Tommy, whatever, and you're all here, great. Oh, hey, you know, there's a couple people that aren't here. Hey, Jackie, could you go upstairs real quick and see if they're coming down? And we're gonna start the video. So that's kind of how it would go.
This is a side question, I don't know if I don't know the procedures or I haven't looked at it. But what about the DVD for the team leader that is moving Sunday for that particular Sunday? What is the procedure to go and sign up? Because a lot of times, you know, you're doing something that you forget and you go, oh, I forgot to pick it up.
You mean for the
DVD for
sermon
what?
DVD?
For the DVD for the worship service.
So, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's say hypothetically,
Yeah.
I was down here with the children and everything, and I do want to do this
Yeah.
worship service because I want to hear your message.
Right.
You know, like messages like today, vital, important,
Yeah.
you know, necessary. And I completely forgot to sign up for one of them.
Oh, you can
What
just
is
call-
going to be the procedure?
Yeah, you could just call, we have backlog, you know, DVDs
Okay.
as long as the recording, so
they're always
if you want a
online.
DVD,
Okay.
yeah, they're always online, yeah. Well, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, but they're also, if you call, we keep DVDs, and we can always burn an extra copy if you happen to forget to ask, or just call the office. Yeah, there's a sheet too, but if you forget to sign up on the sheet, you know, you can call the office and ask, and we can put it down, yeah, no problem. Yeah, goodness, I don't know.
And real quick, is somebody gonna coordinate the schedules, because the one thing you didn't put on here was tech team, and a tech team can't leave, they have to stay up
Right,
through the whole
right,
service.
I didn't put who can't serve, because if your area that you serve is not on that list, then yeah, you wouldn't want to be double booked.
Okay, so
So tech team can't.
who's
you
gonna
know,
coordinate that?
Do our best
The
in the
office.
office, and if you notice, as soon as somebody notices, hey, I'm
Yeah.
on these, try to work with it, we're all trying to work together, that's kind of that
Scheduling
concept
is-
of,
yeah.
if you notice it as early as you notice it, call somebody on one of those 2 teams and say, okay, can I switch with somebody in tech, can I switch with somebody in kids? I'm supposed to preach this week, I can't be downstairs and preach, how's that gonna work, you know?
So scheduling is a complicated beast, you know, and that's why it's helpful to us if you notice a complication, if you were able to work it out yourself and get back to the church office and say, hey, and clearly say, hey, this is what happened, we're happy to make the adjustments, we're happy to help too, but it is kind of a complicated machine.
Okay.
We do try to help, yeah, we do try to help, but as hard as it is for you to solve your double bookings or your scheduling,
Yeah,
it's much easier for you than it is for the office, but we always try to help as much as we can.
Yeah, Tony,
Do we
I s-
have any families that drop off kids right now?
I don't believe so, not that I'm aware of, not that I'm aware
Because
of,
in the past, when that happened, they just knew that the kids, you know, came downstairs the whole time.
right.
And eventually, we might have to figure out a solution for that, hopefully.
Yeah.
Our-
One of the knee-jerk thoughts there is, again, if there's a family that's used to being down here, or if there's a kid that comes in and you're working Konnect Kids that week, you're their adoptive parent to kind of, hey, I'm signing them in, they're gonna kind of hang out with me when I go down, they're gonna come down with me, and I'll kind of sign them out and wait for them to say, that's the mom who dropped me off in the car, I'm gonna go back out to her car.
Church and
in
church.
general.
And if the parents want to come down, oh, I'm sorry.
If it's a tag on, I just don't want to miss Keisha. I keep-
So the MC is responsible for the signing in, the turning on the TV, and the signing out?
No, the MC is, the signing out person can be anyone on the team, like anyone who's just willing to stand there and sign kids in until 10:10. The rest of the team can go in the service at 10, there just needs to be one person that's there to help with the signing process. And they're not the MC necessarily. The MC is basically when the leaders and the kids are called to go downstairs, they come together, and instead of the MC sitting where the kids are sitting to watch the video, they go up here and they say, hey everyone, welcome, put your offering in there, we're gonna start the video in just a second, I have a sign-in sheet, Billy, Bobby, you know, do a quick roll call, have them raise their hands, and then it's starting the video, or having an adult go up to check on Billy or Bobby, who's not down there at the moment, and then stopping the video and saying, okay, go to your small group. The next thing they would do is bring around snack, and then they would help with the sign out.
So if a parent is running late or something like that, the sheet will be down here.
If they're half hour to 45 minutes late, the sheet will be down there.
Yeah.
If we've already moved to Konnect Kids, it's very late into the service, but it would be down here.
Okay.
My guess as a parent, if I was running that late and I missed the sign-in person at the sign-in desk, and at least if I was aware of the program and the kids were dismissed to something and I'm new or whatever, if I'm used to the program, I'm gonna go down and sign them in. I'm gonna leave during that offering time as well. Because I wanna walk my child down because they haven't been signed in and whatever. Same with if I'm new and I've come in late and I hear about this Konnect Kids thing and I wanna check it out, I'm gonna go down there physically with my kid. I'm not gonna just send my kid downstairs. That at least as me as a parent, I'm not gonna do that.
Maybe what you could suggest when you say, okay, this is time for the kids to go down, if you haven't signed your child
Right,
in,
that's what I was trying to
Yeah,
do.
go down
like that.
with your
That's
child
a good idea,
to
too.
sign them in.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know.
Yeah,
Now,
that's good.
during the time when we would let a parent who's not on the team per se be down here with the kids?
That we would permit a parent to check it out?
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, yeah,
been down here
absolutely,
for the
just
whole
like
program.
VBS, we say, if parents, if you want to check it out and hang out with us all week, you're welcome to see what we do here. Absolutely, yeah.
More doom and gloom for you. Insurance, God forbid a child gets hurt here, are we acting agents of the church? Are we covered under your insurance? How does that work?
Yes, I mean, it's liability of the church, yeah.
Okay. Insurance is all clean up.
Sorry, I'm just writing a note here, you can still ask questions, I'm not ignoring.
Give him a call.
If you want to call questions.
Can I get back to my question?
Oh, yeah, of course, I'm sorry, Sharon,
That's
I'm
okay.
not trying to.
I just wanted to say that I find it hard to believe that the kids will leave with a leader from upstairs without the parents going down with them.
We'll see.
I mean, it'd be great if they did, maybe after the third week or fourth week or something, they would. But from the very beginning, they're probably gonna want mommy's hand to bring them down.
And there'll be growing pains and change pains with anything that we do is gonna have some of that. We'll do our best to work through that.
And, if you want to, when you're scheduled on a week, if one of you wants to just head downstairs, the MC get in place and have if you feel like you want to have a plan where one person's in the lobby, one person's at the halfway point of the stairs and then directs the kids in, you could have the core of your station as the kids are going through and, okay, go this way, you could set yourself up so that you're helping guide them to the right place. Most kids don't know where to go, but if you want to station yourself so that you kind of are the directional map for them and stuff, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Any other
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually, I get it. Because some parents want to be
We're just gonna have a mess. What's that? February 24th. Oh yeah, so thank you. You're welcome. If you would like to sign up for Sunday and you have not signed up for Sunday and looking at this, you have an idea of a Sunday that you'd like to try it out and see how things go. Like I said, there's gonna be bumps along the new road. I mean, there always is. So we'll learn as we go together. If you want to talk to me, give me your contact information so I can add it to the list. That'd be great. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and for chatting and eating and all that jazz. Appreciate you all. If you have any other questions, let me know.
Except for Ken, you have to do a paper. They're like, we don't want to talk to you anymore. No. Can you just leave for today? I think we recorded that one. They're not letting that one out.